Good evening, everyone. I hope you're okay, and welcome to the Larking Gowen 2021 Open Evening. I can see from the number of attendees that we've still got a few more people joining, so I'll just give it a couple of minutes before we start the webinar and presentation. I think the numbers have stabled. So once again, thank you very much for joining our open evening webinar this evening. Obviously, hopefully you will all remain on mute for the duration of the webinar. Hopefully you can see down the right hand side there's a panel box where you'll be able to input questions. So if you'd like to add those during the presentation, then please do, and we will come to any questions at the end of the presentation where myself and two of my colleagues will be happy to go through any of the questions. Brilliant. So if we just move on to the next slide, but what we're going to start with this evening is just a short video of who are Larking Gowen and what's it like to work with us. So I will let the video run to start with. Brilliant, thank you for that. So obviously within that video, if we just go to the next slide, there's a number of key messages about the firm and key business ideas that obviously the firm is built upon. So as mentioned in the video, Larking Gowen has 6 offices across East Anglia, which hopefully you can see those locations on the slide there. We have over 350 staff and 6,500 clients across multiple different disciplines, whether that be farming, landed and estates, audit, accounts, medical and solicitors, to name a few. The firm has 25 partners, to which I am one of them, and I'm also the training partner. So if you've got any questions with regards to training, we will come on to those in due course. As it says on the slide, the firm was founded over 130 years ago, and we are one of the UK's top 40 accountancy firms. Next slide, thank you. So why Larking Gowen? I suppose the key question you'll find asking yourselves with regards to employers, why should you choose us to train as an accountant and obviously start your career into the profession? So we're one of East Anglia's leading independent accountancy firms. We are the largest trainer of students in Norfolk and Suffolk by some distance. We currently have over 100 students across all of our disciplines, across all of our 6 offices, which, as I said, is by far and away the largest across Norfolk and Suffolk. We're a platinum training provider with regards to all of our training schemes, whether that be the ACCA, the ACA, AAT, ATT or CTA, which I'm sure we'll come on to in due course. With regards to professional study and the firm as a whole, I suppose there's three key things which we offer all of our employees, and obviously our training students, which hopefully one of you may be in due course. So we offer a supportive environment, an inclusive environment, and a flexible environment for you to develop as an individual, study towards your qualification, and have a rewarding career. As I said, we've got over 100 students with ourselves at the moment, to which we've got an extensive support network to help you through your exams, to develop as an individual and grow within your client work. In addition to that supportive environment, we offer a benefits package which is benchmarked at least once a year in line with our competitors within the local and national market. We also have our wellbeing program, which is incredibly important for the work-life balance at the moment, which entitles you to a number of different support mechanisms, whether that be confidential support through mental health, financial wellbeing, community or charitable working opportunities. Next slide, please. So for myself as a partner, why Larking Gowen? I think as an audit partner working with some of the medium to larger size businesses across Norfolk and Suffolk, I think key for me is the clients that we work with being of sufficient size where they're nice and complex to help develop your skills, but also the clients are not so big that you do have an active involvement with the shareholders of the business and can help them meet their business objectives and help them develop as a business. So as you'll see on the slide, there's a number of clients that we act for across East Anglia, to which there is a number of significant, big, well-known brands across the region, which we're delighted to act for and help them grow as a business as well. In addition to obviously the audit market, we've got our farms and land and estates team, which one of my colleagues, Arabella, will be happy to go through some of the work that they do. We've got our business and private team, which includes a medical division down in Colchester. Also within our corporate team, we've got our insolvency team and our tax advisory group, our tax advisory group also act for a number of the clients noted there. And we've also then got our private client team across various different offices. So there's a huge, wide and varied client base across the firm, which hopefully can develop and challenge you as an individual. Next slide, please. So what we're going to do now is there is another video for you to watch with views of a few trainees and other individuals who have trained at the firm and obviously got on to more senior positions.
Larking Gowen is an East Anglian-based firm and has 6 offices from North Norfolk through to Essex, with our main offices being Norwich and Ipswich. We are an excellent training firm with passion for our people at the heart of our business, together with priding ourselves on quality client service. We have an award-winning wellbeing scheme and have won Best Employer Award at Norfolk's Business Awards in 2019. We provide a wide range of financial services to our clients, from preparing accounts, audit and advisory work, through to tax, insolvency and corporate finance services. You can join our firm straight from sixth form or college. All we require is 2 A-levels at grade C or above, and these can be in any subject. They don't have to be in maths, which is a common misconception about a career in accountancy. You will study your level 3 and level 4 AAT for the first 2 years of your career. You will then go on to study for your chartered exams, which is through the ACA for a further 3 years. This is an excellent option if university isn't for you. We will pay for your tuition, your training, your resources, and we'll pay you right from the start throughout the whole process, which means you avoid the university debt often incurred. You will also finish the course a whole year earlier than if you had taken the graduate route. Not to mention, you will have gained an extra 2 years valuable work experience.
My name's Jamie Steele. I attended Kesgrove High School sixth form and from studying accountancy began looking for apprenticeship schemes. I joined Larking Gowen in August 2016 and went to study AAT level 3 and 4 and gained full AAT qualification. I then went on studying ACA with the ITAEW, and as of now only have one more exam before gaining the ACA qualification.
I'm Aaron. I joined Larking Gowen at the end of last year, and I actually did biology at uni, so I guess I'm living proof that even though you might not initially do a business degree, the ACA is a route with a very open end at the beginning. You can come in from any university programme, and employers like Larking Gowen are very happy to receive applications from people who are interested in the subject but want to follow it on. And the ACA has full study support for people who are coming in from a graduate position, even if it isn't a business degree.
I studied to be a chartered accountant and a chartered tax advisor with Larking Gowen. I love working at Larking Gowen because I'm part of a real team. We all work together to bring each other up and help each other out.
So I'll now hand over to my colleague Arabella, who will take us through a few more slides within the presentation, and then obviously we'll open it up to questions and answers at the end.
Hi all, we've just got another couple of videos, which is basically a couple of, an assistant manager and a manager in our team discussing how they've both come in, how they've studied and where they are now in their careers.
I came to Larking Gowen as a graduate in 2016. I had no accountancy or tax experience whatsoever. Qualified after 3 years, so in 2019. Since then I've gone up from qualified to senior to assistant manager. I love all aspects of my job. I really like sort of the day-to-day interactions with clients and my team. I love that we're a mid-tier firm, which means I get a real good range of clients, right from your small owner-managed businesses all the way up to large multinational corporations. At Larking Gowen, it's the whole firm culture, our core values, passion for people and client service. And it sounds a bit cheesy, but I do actually feel like we go for those core values. I feel really looked after here, and I in turn enjoy looking after our clients.
My journey with Larking Gowen began in 2005 in the DIS office, where I worked on a variety of different jobs. After about 8 years, the firm chose to specialise or divisionalise, and at that point I realised I liked the idea of specialising in agriculture. Part of that was to move to the Norwich office to become part of the Farms and Landed Estates team. I've gradually progressed through the roles, and I'm now a manager in that team. A great thing about Larking Gowen is the training aspect. They put you through college, but in addition to that, whilst working in the office, you have the training and support from your colleagues. Everyone's been approachable, they've all been happy to help. I genuinely see the people I work with as my friends.
So as you could see from those videos, the career progression is brilliant in the firm, but obviously we have to start with the training. As mentioned in the previous video, there are 2 ways of entering a career in accountancy. You can come straight in after your A-levels, and our requirements are 2 Cs at A-levels. It doesn't matter which subjects these are in. You will then study AAT for 2 years and then become qualified AAT and become a member of their association. Then if you want to progress further, you can then go on to ACA. If you go to uni and you have a degree, the AAT isn't necessary, and you can come into ACA straight after your degree. It doesn't matter what your degree is as long as you've got a 2-1, and you will study for as an ACA apprentice in as little as 3 years. Not mentioned here, but we do also offer ATT and CTA, which are the tax exams. So if that's something you're interested in, that is something we offer. Both options will enable you to gain valuable work experience because you'll be studying and working at the same time, so you can utilise what you learn at college at work and vice versa. You'll receive a competitive salary above apprenticeship wage. All your tuition fees will be paid for, and you have fun working in a great team as well as studying. Next slide, please. So we're looking to take 40 to 50 trainees and interns across all of our offices this year. Applications are currently open, and they're open until the 3rd of January 2022. All shortlisted candidates will be invited to an assessment centre in February, where you will have to do a group activity, a presentation, an interview, and complete a personality questionnaire. And then you'll get to meet people like myself who have studied here and trained here, talk to the partners. So as well as us getting to know you, it's also you getting to know us, and if this is somewhere you want to work, which hopefully it will be. And then any successful candidates will be invited to start either in the spring or autumn of 2022. And as mentioned before, all our vacancies are available on our website. Next slide, please. So we're now going to open the floor. Myself, John, and my colleague Barry will now answer any other questions you have to hopefully clear up any queries.
Good evening, everyone.
Thanks, Arabella. So just looking at the question panel, obviously, if there are any questions that you like answered, then please do submit them now. We've got a few that we're happy to go through. So the first question is, what happens if I fail any of the exams? So as I said, I'm the training partner for the firm and oversee all students training, whether that be through the tax or accountancy professions. So with regards to exam failures, there's not a one strike and you're out the door. As I said, we provide a supportive environment to help our students get through their exams, and then obviously hopefully qualify as an accountant. So hopefully that answers that question. Does it matter how long it has been since you graduated from university? Either of you who'd like to answer that one, or I'm happy to.
Yeah, I can answer that. So the answer is no, it doesn't matter how long it's been since you graduated university. All we ask is that the degree is a 2-1 or above.
Thanks, Barry. What will my working hours be? Do you want to take that one, Arabella?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one. So our core working hours are 10 till 4. We work 7.5-hour days, but obviously with the changes in the world this last couple of years, we've become more flexible. So we can I start at 8 and I finish at 4 and have half an hour lunch. That is my day. I have other colleagues who start at 10 and finish at 6. So the working hours are flexible, but you will have your core hours you have to stick to and be available from. But either side of that, the firm offer complete flexibility.
I suppose just to add to that, thanks, Arabella. I think obviously one other thing from flexibility is 1, hours worked, and then 2, location of where those hours are worked, to which we announced our working practices in August this year, which we surveyed our staff and announced them in light of the pandemic and the impact it's had to date, to which we do not stipulate to any of our employees at any level how many days they need to be in the office or work at home. We have a framework which there's 4 key pillars, to which then we ask all of our people and trust all of our people to review the framework, decide where is best for themselves, for their development, for their team's development and client service, and obviously then determine whether working at home at the client's premises or in the office is best for their day. Righty ho, we've got quite a few questions coming in. So, right, what is the social life like at Larking Gowen?
I'm happy
I
to
can,
take this.
well, either one.
You go, Barry.
Yeah, I mean, the social life is excellent. I have been at the firm coming up to 8 years now. And during that time, I've met some of the best friends in my life. I've been to their weddings. I've been to their children's christenings. And then outside of that, there are regular social events. The firm does provide a social fund for each of the teams, and it's up to the teams how that money is used. So some people like to go out for drinks with the colleagues or do various activities. We've had pretty much everything under the sun over the years, such as escape rooms, trips to the zoo, everything really. So if you're joining, you've got all the people around you, and I'm sure you'll have a great time.
Thanks, Barry. Right. As I train, who will oversee my progress? So I'll answer that one. So as I said during the presentation, we offer a supportive environment for all of our students to prosper and hopefully qualify as an accountant. So with regard to that supportive network, so as I said, I'm the training partner and kind of sit at the top of the tree, to which then we've got student coordinators, to which Barry and Arabella are two of our ATA student coordinators. Their role is to then answer any questions that you may have and provide assistance throughout the course of your studies. In addition to the coordinators, we have your designated training manager who will go through reviews with you. We've also then got, obviously, as I said, we're the largest number of students in Norfolk and Suffolk across any accountancy practice. So you've also then got your cohort in addition to training managers, student coordinators, and then the training provider that you then go to through your exams to assist you with any queries that you've got. So there's a hugely expansive support network around you to help develop. Right, sorry, there's a lot of questions coming through. So which training provider do you use is a question. I'll answer that one as, so we use First Intuition for AAT, ACCA and ACA studies. We then use Kaplan for ATT and the CTA tax studies. So as a trainee, would you attend networking events with the team and meet clients in person?
I'm happy to take this one. So probably within, your first few months, probably not so much because you'll be getting to grips with the job. But then, I mean, any time after a month or 2 months, once you've been here, depending on the job you're working on, the team you work within, they're really keen on getting people out. The audit team, they're out at the clients quite heavily, and new trainees are out. Ever since I've been working here, so I've been here 5 years now. Within a couple of months, I was out at clients, doing work out there, attending networking events with other professional businesses. So they are really keen on getting trainees out and getting trainees that exposure to both clients and also other types of networking event, because it's good for your own personal development. So yeah, they're really good at getting people out and getting them networking and meeting other people.
Yeah, and to just reaffirm that I work in the corporate audit and advisory team, and our trainees generally, we have them going out to clients, obviously not on their own, with the team within the first sort of few weeks or months.
Thanks. Thank you very much, both. Right, just looking through the questions as well. I would have no accountancy or bookkeeping experience. Would there be a foundation training to undertake? Who would like to answer that one?
I think we could both answer that really. So both Bella and I studied through the AAT route. My background wasn't in accounting, and I believe yours wasn't either, Bella.
No.
So don't be too worried or put off if you don't have a background in accounting. If you're joining through either the AAT or ACA qualification, they really cover from the bare basics and work their way up. The training providers are excellent, and they provide all the support you need. And also internally within your teams, people are more than happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Barry. Are the training courses in-house, online, or at a designated learning centre?
I'm happy to go for that one. So they are at a designated training centre. As John mentioned earlier, First Tuition is our training provider, except if you're studying the tax exams, which is Kaplan. and they have their own offices which students attend. Obviously, there is flexibility now that some students and some of the learning over COVID was online, but now rules and restrictions have lifted. All our students are back in class and studying face to face.
Thank you. Right. How broad are the apprenticeships, or will we have to pick a specific part of the company straight away? So I suppose there's two questions there. And so with regards to the apprenticeship and the skills that you learn as part of that, myself and a couple of members from our HR team, we meet with First Intuition and we tailor the apprenticeship accordingly based on the skill set required for an accountant at the moment. Obviously, we do review that regularly, and there are tweaks made. And then will we have a specific part of the company, or work in a specific part of the company straight away? I don't know, Arabella, if you want to talk about the divisions and obviously how that interacts with the application process.
Yeah. So when you apply, you will be asked if you have a preference on the department you're in. For example, I come from an agricultural background, so my preference was in farming and landed estates. You don't have to have a medical background or a farms and land estates background to go into any of those specialisms. So we look at the preferences, but then we also look at sort of where the vacancies are available. So if we've got everybody applying for corporate, you may end up in another team based on sort of who we think's suitable for that team. But you will have a preference when you apply for the job. But there is also the option of secondments. So for Barry actually used to work in the farms and landed estates team, and he did a secondment to corporate, preferred that as a department and decided to move. We have people second to the tax teams. So not necessarily where you get put when you start is where you will spend the rest of your career. You can try other teams and work out which team works best for you.
Thank you. So will the exams be taken within training centres? So I suppose the question firstly depends on which exam you're taking, as some accountancy bodies allow you to take an exam through remote invigilation, or some do have to be done in the centre. With regards to if I use the ICAW as an example, for their professional and advanced levels, they give you the option of remote invigilation or exam centre. As a firm, we don't dictate to our students whether they do remote invigilation or exam centre. It's completely up to them. Given the pandemic and where it's been over the last 18 months, we have advised at certain points a student potentially may want to do remote invigilation in case they got pinged. If we looked at last year where people then had to self-isolate as you then miss your exam, but we do not dictate where you take your exams. It's completely up to you, but as I said, we do occasionally advise on that matter in light of the pandemic and any potential restrictions. What is the office environment like? Is it formal or more casual?
I can take that, yeah. So generally speaking, when you're around the office, it is probably a smart casual approach. So when you're working within the offices, there might not need to be a requirement to wear a tie or anything like that. Obviously, we do need to keep up appearances when you are seeing clients. So it really is a case of dress for your day. So if you are working, for example, in the corporate team and we are visiting a client premises, we would ask that you dress more formally. If you don't have any client meetings and you're working in the office, then you can dress down a bit.
Thanks, Barry. Right, sorry, I'm so what are the potential start dates? Do you want to go through that, Arabella?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we start in spring and autumn. Most of our intake will be for the autumn intake, and we like to start all the trainees together as much as possible, so you're all in the same cohort. If I'm correct, it's normally the end, obviously there's not a specific date yet, end of August, beginning of September, the trainees tend to start, and we get them all together and do all the first bits of training that time of year.
Thank you. There's a number of questions on age of applicants, experience pre-application or international students. I think for all of those questions, there's no set age as to of any applicant. As I said, I think we have a diverse and inclusive environment. So the minimum requirements, obviously, that Arabella went through with regards to degree or then A levels are the key things, but age, location, that does not impact on the recruitment process. With regards to international, depending on obviously the status of any potential applicant, I would probably recommend that they email recruitment@larking-gowen.co.uk to go through any specific international requirements there. Right. Are there any sports team within the firm that we can attend after working hours, i.e., football?
I believe there is a football team.
Yeah. Yeah, you are correct, Barry. There is a football team. Not that football's the only sport in the world. I think there's a number of other social events that do happen. Is that correct, Arabella? I think there's a couple of walking groups, either with pets or without pets. I think is there a cooking group, or did I imagine that one?
I don't know about the
cooking groups have definitely popped up and popped out in the past, especially obviously around bake-off time.
I think it's one of those things to do with the sort of social aspect of the firm. You know, people in my team will all get together and go play badminton weekly pre-COVID. And I know every year we pre-COVID had an annual business and private division versus corporate, where we kind of split the firm in half and challenge them against each other in a football match. There is definitely sporting opportunities, and sometimes against other firms in networking events as well.
And also just to mention as well, as part of our Microsoft team groups, we have a group called Committed to Fun, and generally there are various challenges that sort of get put out throughout the year. So I think there is a baking one currently, but also then one of things like pumpkin carving in October and bits and pieces like that people get involved with.
Brilliant. So there's a few more questions which we'll have to go through. So what is the presentation during the assessment day?
I don't actually know, because it's changed since I applied. I don't know.
It does change. Generally, it is a group presentation. The topic does change though. Yeah,
you are correct. It changes each assessment centre. So depending on what it is, you'll be informed on the topic of which we'd like you to make a presentation on. I think sustainability may have been one of the presentations previously, but you'll be notified of that prior to the assessment day so that you can prepare for that. What advice would you give to someone coming into the role? It's a broad question, but I'll let you both want to give it your answer.
Yeah, the best piece of advice I can probably give is just be open with the people you're working with. If at any point you're struggling, for example, with study, then speak to your line manager, speak to the people around you. What you'll find is most of the people have been there and done it before, a lot of them through with the firm. So people are very understanding. So you've just got to talk to people, really.
I think I would second what Barry said. My advice would be to ask questions, and ask more questions. The only way of learning is to nag whoever you're sat near or around the whole time. It's what I did when I first started. Every time I had a question, my sort of work buddy got my questions directed at him, and it's the way you learn and pick up new skills. And actually, people you're working with will hear you ask that question and learn from you as well. So yeah, questions all the way.
Yeah. Also, just going back slightly to the previous question on the presentation, Chloe from our HR department has just said this year's presentation is a 5-minute presentation on yourselves, your hobbies, and your pastimes.
Thanks, Barry. Right, so especially with this new strand of COVID, how flexible is Larking Gowen with regards to working from home? So we have a business continuity team who meet once a week, and it's their job to review on behalf of the firm the latest government guidelines, and then interpret that for the firm, and then relay any firm's procedures or policies to everyone within the firm. So as you can probably tell, a few of us are in the office at the moment. I think with regards to the government at the moment, as far as I'm aware, there's no direct working from home message that has been relayed. I think the last time I checked was probably this morning, so I could be out of date. But as I said, I think our business continuity team, they review the government's guidelines, and then we adopt those then across the firm. So if we are asked to work from home, then everyone has a laptop, they're able to work from home if they need be. And obviously prior to this new strain of COVID emerging in the last week or so, everyone was either working in the office or working at home, depending on what they were doing during their day. So I think we've proven as a firm that you can work effectively either at home or in the office, but we'll obviously have to see what the restrictions are, if there are any coming forward, and then what our clients expect of us in the short term if there are no restrictions. What attributes and skills specifically are you looking for in an apprentice?
I guess I would just say someone willing to learn. You know, a lot of people come into this career with not a lot of history of accountancy. So within study and in terms of being in the firm and doing work itself, it's the want to learn and pick up the new skills and be able to apply them to both work and study.
Brilliant. There's a few more questions to go. So where are client meetings held? Are they within centres, or is it visit the client approach? I think that one, there's I suppose three answers. It's either at the client's premises, if that's what they wish, and obviously we can go restrictions pending, and we do COVID assessments before we go to any clients to make sure our people are as safe as possible. They're either then in the office, obviously. We've got COVID protocols in place as well for our staff coming into the office, or visitors coming in as well. And I suppose the third option is then either over Zoom, Teams, or any other platform if the client so wishes. But I think within our working practices, the key message is we're guided by our clients, and then obviously we then have to look at them if they would like to do something face to face, or we need to do something face to face. For instance, an audit stock take, then we'll have to look at the restrictions and how those affect the safety of our people. And so a couple more questions have popped in. If we were unsure in which area of the firm we'd like to special in, can we do work experience in a different department?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned earlier on, we do offer secondments between the teams. So it's something, once you've started, you can discuss with your line manager, and they can sort out any secondment or work experience in another team and determine the time frame in which you want to be in that team for.
Perfect, thank you. Right, a few more have just come in. Sorry, I'm trying to monitor them all, make sure we're answering them. Regarding the AAT, how many study hours would be undertaken each week as an average?
I think it's hard to average it. Obviously, with the very nature of the way the exams work, it's definitely an ebb and flow. So in the lead up to your exam, you'll obviously have more time with your study provider, and you'll be wanting to do more hours at home. After your exam, obviously, you might then have a week or a month, depending on the time of year, where you don't need to worry about study at all. But it is manageable, and obviously the training providers provide as much support as possible.
I'll just add in addition to that, so depending on which exam you're doing and which discipline, so you normally would go to the training provider for tuition and revision phases. which obviously that time off is paid leave from the firm to attend that. In addition then to that, what we provide is the 2 working days directly in advance of professional level exams and advanced exams at ICAW. You get those days off as paid leave as well, to help you prepare in those final moments before your exam. If you unfortunately don't pass an exam, then there is support provided for any future resit as well. And then in addition to that, if you join as a level 4 or level 7 apprentice, we then give you additional time each week to complete the apprenticeship work outside of obviously any professional study. And the final question which we've got, which I've deliberately left for last, is what do you enjoy most about working for Larking Gowen?
I'm happy to go first.
Shall we all give an answer, Bella?
Yeah. It, as cringy and cliche as it sounds, probably the team I work with and the colleagues. Barry and John work in different teams to me, but I speak to them both. I'm comfortable asking them both questions. If I have any specialist questions that need to go to my tag team, I'm more than happy to walk in and talk to everybody. It's just the approachability of the team and the environment that sort of created that makes you feel comfortable. And obviously, as we mentioned earlier on, the socials that we have sort of builds on that. And the overall support. I came in 5 years ago after my A-levels, not having a clue. I've qualified. I'm now qualified and sort of taking on responsibility. So the progression is what I enjoy as well. It's being trusted to move forward and, yeah, sort of get where I want to in my career.
I think it's hard to beat Bella's answer. I think she's hit the nail on the head, really. But just to add to that as well, I legitimately do enjoy my job. I enjoy the work I do. I enjoy being challenged. And I think that's all I can add to that, really.
Thanks, Barry. I suppose for me, so as I said, I'm a partner within the firm, and I'm in a very fortunate position to be a business leader in such a well-recognised firm within East Anglia. I think for me, I suppose 3 things, obviously, the clients that we work with, which I've mentioned earlier, the work-life balance. I've got a young family and I get to spend my evenings with my daughter, which is vitally important in those early stages of her life. I think then for me, it's just the supportive and the environment that we work in, that we do have that ability for an individual to drive their career and give them the opportunities that they so wish. You can see the number of people who've come through from trainee to manager and then on to partner. It's brilliant. I mean, my role as a partner is to develop the firm, develop the people, and leave the firm in a better place than where it was when I joined the partnership back in 2020. And I thoroughly enjoy being the training partner. I love the fact that we've got over 100 students, and that's ever growing. It's so rewarding to see students come in, join, and qualify, and then develop their careers further after that. Which I appreciate is probably cliche, but it's the honest truth. So that's all I can really add to that. So thank you everyone for attending the webinar this evening. If you do have any more questions, then obviously recruitment@larking-gowen.co.uk, which has just appeared on the slide. You can submit any questions to that. If not, obviously, hopefully we look forward to a number of applications in due course and seeing you on some of the assessment days in 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.